take a look at this.
She's in the garage.
Okay.
Oh.
Gesundheit ist besser als Krankheit.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, my.
Siete. Oh.
Yeah. In the garage. Oh, hi, Siete.
He's everywhere. Okay. Let me clear my throat. This might not seem like a big deal, but it's a very interesting coincidence. We were up at Tequamanon Falls in the Upper Peninsula over the last weekend, and we stopped and went to the gift shop, and I just walk around, and as you can see, if you see my Oswald's Beer Camp shirt, you know I don't wear anything unless I've been there as much as possible. Well, we walked into the Tequamanon Falls gift shop, and they're all walking everywhere, and I'm like, hey, I don't fucking care. I was looking for a tank top. Gotta let your pits breathe. And I looked up and I saw this. Oh, this is the best beer cooler I've ever seen in my entire life. There was just one, and it said Richard, and I said, well, that's like Archer. Not really, unless you move to your derivatives and you say Richie, Archie, and then you see the crown, King Richard, and oh, look at that. Oh, top quality drink holder. Somebody here made a big deal making a copyright claim on this thing. It was the only one there, and it was the first time, but it wasn't the last time that somebody said, oh, you're lucky you got here when you did. And you see, I say King Richard, there's a crown right there, and Richard. And we talk about these things, about monarchies and kings and queens and guillotines and shit like that. Cigarette went out. I knew it would. It was the only one there, and I got it. And as it turns out, I can hide it from you if I want, but it's got like Michelin Man tires all up and down it, and you try to push out of the way, it doesn't budge. You hear that? That's the sound of it losing traction. But if you turn it around, it's got all that on it. That's all. Okay, let's get beyond all this. Let's get to the point of why I'm talking about my beer cooler that I like very much. I'm not going to take it apart. It would take too long. I can tell it really quick. It's got scuba diving gear, about a 7 mil right inside of this thing. So it's keeping it cold. This is a summer month beer cooler. Not like the lady that does it in winter. Well, that's the name of a short story, isn't it? The lady that does it in the winter. Let's get beyond all that. Let's talk about the monarchy. Everybody keeps talking about a dictatorship with that poor guy. And I say it's more like a monarchy. He doesn't want to be a dictator. Those other dictators over there that hold him under their sway, they're just men. He wants to be a king, anointed by ridicule, I suppose. He doesn't care how he gets it, he'll take it. So we talk about the monarchy. You look at it, and they blame Reagan. They say that's when the culture wars started, and that's the up and down. And that, to me, it's valid. They were catching on to it. It's a valid notion, but I think it started way before then. It started with the idea that people wanted to be over other people. And so it goes beyond Reagan. It goes back to the monarchy. It goes back to what they like to say, the founders of the Constitution. No, it's the framers of the Constitution. Let's look at them. Why don't we do more miniseries about the framers of the Constitution? The fact is, there must have been a few of them in there, even though they signed it. They had to sign that damn paper with John Hancock at the bottom. Why did he sign his name so big? They say it's because he wasn't afraid. I say it's because he was aggressive. I'm just making the stuff up. But there must have been somebody in that signature fucking path on the Constitution that said, we're going to get this the way we want it. You say it started with Reagan. I say it started with whatever they called the British when they were trying to hold America. The Tories, I believe they were. If it's not that, it's the red shirts. It's one or the other. You know the wonderful thing about this? You don't ever have to believe anybody anymore. You can just Google it and look them in the eye and say, you got it wrong. I believe it was the Tories. So, right there in the beginning, I figure there were people that wanted to stay consistent with the British government. And they've been living through this the whole time like Hydra. It's just like Hydra is the way I think of it. Like in Captain America movie. And the next thing comes back in Winter Soldier. And they're saying, oh, it's Hydra. I'm like, this thing never dies. I'm saying they are trying to get us back under their thumb. With the monarchy. King Richard. This is the only thing you've ever given me is a good beer cooler. People say, well, my 401k has been better than it is now. And I say, what about when the people that don't have access to that kind of 401k come busting through your door? And he says, well, I'll be retired and it won't matter. I'll be in my home. And I say, it's gonna happen tomorrow if that guy gets elected. That poor guy.